What's up, everybody? Ask Me Anything is here. I'm just getting settled in. Back from a trip, not in a hotel. That's incredible. Can't seem to silence the alerts on my laptop, all of which were silenced forever. And now somehow the preferences are all messed up. This happens to everyone, right? Super frustrated. Let's get right to it. Anthony writes, is there a good substitute for Autocrat coffee milk stout to make a near authentic Rhode Island coffee milk? Well, Anthony, the coffee milk center of the world includes Rhode Island, but it expands to the North and South Fork of Long Island, into parts of Connecticut. There's a small circle there that really enjoys coffee milk. When I was a little kid, Schwenk's Dairy in East Hampton, Long Island, used to deliver skim and regular buttermilk and coffee milk. Now, most places don't make coffee milk anymore. Syrups have been added to milk to enjoy what I think is the finest milk treat on planet Earth. And I keep coffee syrup in my house because I love drizzling it on vanilla ice cream or using it in shakes and desserts and other things to provide real fantastic coffee flavor. I don't use the stout. That's a beer. I don't recommend that for making coffee milk. But Autocrat does make a fantastic coffee syrup. Proof makes one. Coffee Time coffee syrup makes one. My favorite is Dave's original coffee milk syrup. You can look them all up online. They're all available either directly through the company or through Amazon. I love Dave's. Dave's coffee milk is the jam, and I keep some around at all times. James writes, why do recipes tell you to put pastry dough in the fridge for an hour after you make it? It comes out very hard to roll. Yeah, that's the whole point. What you want to do is you want to make sure that the butter or lard or whatever other fat is in a dough doesn't become warm. It allows... That would make for a dough that, one, could fall apart, but number two, you want harder pieces of butter that melt during the baking process so you get those little bits of space and air creating the leaves in that pastry. So that's why professional bakers work on marble, because it stays cool. In some restaurants, they actually have a refrigerated marble top on which to do that kind of work. So while it takes a little more elbow grease, you really need to keep those things refrigerated. In recipes, and I'm not a baker, but when I'm making pie dough, I'll dice my butter very, very, very small. I will dice it frozen. I will put it back into the freezer, and then when I'm ready, start to incorporate it. So I actually have more pieces and smears of butter in my doughs, and then I get all of that wonderful leaf action. And it's crispier. Paul writes, have you ever had Yorkshire forced rhubarb? No, I have not. He says it's the best rhubarb that I'll ever eat. I look forward to it. I have some great rhubarb growing out in the front yard. I love Minnesota rhubarb. I'm a huge rhubarb guy. Jason writes, your bizarre food show made me want to try to eat other kinds of food because I was a very picky eater. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate that. I really do. I love hearing that. Orange Deuce writes, nice Kiss shirt from my April 29th AMA. Didn't know that I was a fan. Yeah, who doesn't like, Kiss, the rock and roll army, right? Have I met Paul Stanley? No, I have not. I've not met any members of Kiss. Met a lot of people in my career, but not him. Orange Juice says that Paul tweets a lot about cooking. Who doesn't love food? Everyone loves food. Dimitri writes, what's something nice and easy that kids and I can make their mom, his wife, for Mother's Day? None of us are very confident in the kitchen, but we can handle pancakes, things like that. I have an incredible Mother's Day set on my website, andrewzimmern.com. We posted something on my Instagram, Auflauf, which is a super simple batter, and you heat up a pan in the oven, in a 500-degree oven. You get it blistering hot. add your butter in the batter, and like a Dutch baby, it rises up the sides. And you can either keep it soft in the middle, the sides will fall down a little bit, but stay a little bit crispy, or you can go full on Yorkshire pudding style and keep it like a giant bowl all the time. Fill it with fruit, nuts, all kinds of things. Or Swiss cheese and ham, you can go savory as well. But there are a lot of cool things on my website. And by the way, remember, the point is you're cooking for mom. Keep it simple. Mom would love it if you just made a hamburger for her. But anybody can poach a piece of salmon and serve it with a sauce you make in the blender, right? Or do the auflauf. Lots of recipes on my website for that. Daniela writes, we're going to Philadelphia this week to see Taylor Swift. Congratulations, you got tickets. And we'll have time for a couple of meals. Anything we shouldn't miss. We love cannoli and think cheesesteaks are meh. First of all, I love a good cheesesteak, but I'm not here to yuck on your yum. You don't like cheesesteaks, no problem. But go to John's Roast Pork, right? Go to John's Roast Pork for the best pork and greens sandwich. Ask for the aged provolone. It's a little sharper, and you will have the absolute most incredible sandwich on planet Earth. I'm a big fan of John's Roast Pork. Now, Philly has some of my favorite restaurants in the whole world. Mark Vetri's places are there, like Vetri Cucina and Osteria, and Savvy's, his new pizza place may be open. Sarcone's, go for a piece of tomato pie. They've been making it for over 100 years. All of Mike Solomonov's places, from Federal Donuts all the way up to Zahav, is there. Some really spectacular places. Vernick Food and Drink is there. It's super spectacular. It's also a great sandwich town. I mean, remember, you can roll in to a lot of places that offer sandwiches, and don't be afraid to try them. I ate at Amanda Schulman's place, her place Supper Club, which is remarkable. Chad Williams' place, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, is awesome. Kalaya, Klaya, is an incredible Thai restaurant. The chef there, Chef Nok, is nominated for a Beard Award this year. Kim's Barbecue is fantastic. It's a KBBQ spot. I talked about Zahav already. I talked about Vernick already. I'm cruising through I keep lists of places that I go in cities that are absolutely fantastic. Laser Wolf, another one of Mike's places. Where else should you go? I'm just cruising down here. Hardina is fantastic. I mean, just a wonderful Indonesian place. Very, very small, but super fun. Full plate meals. I featured that in, what did I do? In Zimmern list. Love it. Eddie Conrad's tasting menu at Messina Social Club is great. Fiorella, we talked about that before. That's great. Oh, Christina Martinez's place, South Philly Barbacoa. Go in there, order whatever they're making. It's some of the best Mexican food you will ever have. And I love Christina Martinez. She's been in a couple of my shows as well. Oh, Jen Zavala, Juana Tamale is absolutely fantastic. Faux Viette, if you want something quick, inexpensive, on the go, fantastic pho, or pho, as some people say. Lark, Nick Elmy's place, is there. Wonderful, wonderful. Suya. Forgot about that. Great Nigerian food. I really enjoy that place. It's an incredible food town. What can I say? And seriously great pizza as well. Pizzeria Bedia is fantastic. Lots of really good places to go. So yeah, that's Philly. Nisi writes, we're planning to go to Europe this summer, but airfares are outrageous. Can you recommend, you can get last minute deals that are screaming. Can you recommend a good domestic vacation spot for a family with two teenagers? Well, I'll tell you, While airfares are outrageous, you can get some incredible deals to places like Iceland and Ireland. You can get, I mean, I live in Minneapolis and we have direct flights to Amsterdam all the time. I don't know where you live, but summer in Holland is incredible, and you can drive into Belgium. I mean, it's just Northern Europe is a wonderful place to go. You can get some great last minute deals there, and it's not overwhelmed the way, say, Italy is in the summertime. So you can find places to stay and really great deals. Can you recommend a good domestic vacation spot for a family with two teenagers, somewhere with good food, extra points if it's off the beaten path? Well, I know Upper New England is fantastic. Cross the border from upstate New York, head into Canada, drive up through and go into Newfoundland or Prince Edward Island. Not a lot of people, incredible food. You're going to another country, Canada, but you get to do it while doing some domestic stuff as you go up. Upstate New York is great. Go down the Erie Canal path. You can actually rent a canal boat and drive it yourself there. But check out all those small towns. I mean, you can just pull over to the edge of the canal, tie up your barge, and go visit these incredible little towns there. It's a remarkable trip. I've done it once. Absolutely fantastic. Vermont, Finger Lakes, the area in between Syracuse and Ithaca and north, remarkable, right? And not a lot of tourism there in the summertime either. You can even go as far as the Mid-Hudson Valley. I mean, look, off the beaten path, you go into New York, spend some time in Queens, New York City, right? Hotel it in Manhattan, check out great food in Queens, and then just drive out of there yourself and head straight north, follow the Hudson River all the way up. I mean, that would be a really, really, really fun trip. I don't go south in the summertime because it gets really, really, really hot. I mean, really hot. And if it's sunny for a couple days, then you get these incredible rainstorms that develop. So I tend not to do that. But then the other place, of course, is Pacific Northwest. And that's a great driving vacation as well. I would check out Vancouver, incredible food. But you can fly into Portland, Oregon, or Seattle, Washington. Eat in the city, incredible restaurants there. Seattle, you can do coastal stuff. You can go out into the islands, which are amazing. Portland, you can go up the Willamette River, and I mean, it's just so much great stuff. Do one of those wonderful family driving vacations. Diana writes, I loved your bean soup recipe. Thank you. Do you have more ideas to converting my meat-loving family to bean fans, at least part-time? Here's the secret to beans. Soak some good ones, dried ones, overnight. Cook them off the next day, just in boiling water. Maybe put some chopped celery, carrot, onion, garlic, a little bit of salt in the water so the beans take on some of that flavor, right? You're just cooking it in a courbouillon, right? Very simple. Strain the beans. You can keep the veg that's in there if it's trimmed and cut right because it's food. Why not? Drizzle a few tablespoons of olive oil on it. That's all, just to prevent some breaking down and some other issues, and just put it in the fridge. And then you can sprinkle it on salads. You can put it in stir fries. You can puree it with a little bit of olive oil and lemon juice, just a little bit, and make a fantastic bean hummus that everyone loves. There's so many things that you can do with beans. But because they're such a fantastic protein source, what I tend to do is take handfuls of them. You can just put them on top of a salad. You can throw them into so many other dishes, right? And you can saute them with a little bit of, wine and shallot and butter. Let that reduce just to sauce them up, and put a piece of fish over it, a pork chop over it, roast some chicken and put it over it, right? So it can be its own side dish, and they're delicious. Wow. We ran through that whole thing really, really fast. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the Mother's Days, all the celebrants out there, to the moms and to the kids and anyone else who's celebrating a mom. To those that don't have their mothers, or for whom this is a really tough holiday, or who are separated by family, or where the relationship is contentious, I totally feel you. It's really hard. Mother's Day is an impossibly hard holiday for me, for a lot of reasons. And it's it was something that I really looked forward to when I was young, and it's just become a very dark day for me as an adult. And so I feel you. And the most important thing that I do every year on Mother's Day is try to A, focus on the positive, two, keep myself really busy so I'm not just sitting at home moping, and C, do something for another human being. When I'm doing something for someone else, I'm not living in my own shit 100% of the time in my own head. As my friend Mel Robbins said on her Instagram the other day, as a high functioning crazy person who goes from, almost crying a minute ago talking about Mother's Day to sending out really important corporate documents the next. These are our lives. And the best thing that we can do is acknowledge that we have problems and just develop really good coping and management strategies that help us get through them. Life's fired at point blank range. The problems aren't going away. The only thing that I know that I can change is my attitudes about them and the action steps needed to change my attitudes about them, which is where the service work and the keeping busy comes in. Happy Mother's Day out there to all who celebrate. I truly mean that. Love you all. Take it easy.